Welcome back to the channel, where forgotten stories still burn in the dark. Tonight, we follow a man haunted by something impossible, a world erased from every archive. A name no species dares speak aloud. They told him Earth never existed. But he dreamed of oceans, of rain, and last night, he woke up with dirt in his hands. My name is Helric Venn. Registered Memory Index, T7. Sector ID, Outer Cluster 42, Dominion Fold. Profession, salvager, scavenger. Nobody. I have no criminal record. No military background. No known psychological anomalies, at least not the kind they test for in loyalty screenings. And still last night, I woke up with dirt under my fingernails, real dirt. Dark, coarse, smelling faintly of salt and something older. Earth, I thought. Except Earth doesn't exist. It never did. That's what the Concord tells us. That's what's taught in the archives, in the thought rooms, in every starlit cathedral from the core to the void verge. Humanity is a frontier species. We were born among the stars. The myth of Earth is a virus, a dangerous fiction. And yet, I've seen oceans in my dreams. Rain on metal rooftops. Leaves rustling in wind that didn't come from a filtration unit. I've heard laughter, not the kind you get in station bars, but the full-throated, grounded kind that echoes against green hills. I've seen a blue sky. And now, I've held its soil in my hands. The signal came through my scavenger drone at 317 orbital standard. Coordinates showed a gravitational drift anomaly in the Hollow Reach, a dark void region outside mapped space. Illegal to enter, double flagged. Naturally I went. Because something was calling me. It wasn't a ship, it was a door. Floating in space. Alone. Ancient. Half buried in a jagged mass of frozen stone. Carved into it, in perfect, clean script, unlike any used by the Concord. Terra est veritas. My translation pad took a second. Then the phrase clicked. Earth is truth. When I touched it, the door pulsed. I felt heat, sunlight on my face. I heard birds, wind. I smelled grass. It was real, not a simulation. Not memory echo, contact. Then the door opened. Just for a second. Long enough for something to be given to me. After I got back to my ship, I ran a scan on my own body. Something new showed up in my neural data trace. A fragment of inorganic code woven into organic memory. Biological encryption. Living knowledge. It had a name. ID. Gaia Shard number 17. No known records, not even in Forbidden's archives. Except one tag in my ship's archive cross-linked. Terran Seed Core, Class Red. Which is impossible. Because Terran isn't a real designation. It was scrubbed from all historical lexicons 300 years ago, before my time, before everyone's time. But the Gaia Shard was there. In me, growing. They found me 12 hours later, not the Concord. The Archivists, the ones who burn stories for a living. I wasn't supposed to know they existed. Most people don't. They don't wear uniforms, they wear veils, literal veils. Black ones, synthetic silk coated to absorb light. They didn't ask questions, they just said, return the seed. Or be silenced like the rest. I ran, because I'd already seen it. I'd felt it, and I wanted more. Since touching the Gaia Shard, I no longer sleep like before. I dream in layers. First, I see cities, old ones. Concrete, lights, bridges across rivers. Then I hear names. Manhattan, Seoul, Melbourne, Chicago, London, Rio. Names that don't exist on any galactic chart. But somehow, I know them. I know we once had oceans named after directions. I know we had seasons. I know we lost it all and then forgot we'd ever had it. They didn't destroy Earth. They made us believe it was never real. Before they catch me, and they will, I'm transmitting this story on old wave radio across all Forbidden's bandwidths. Someone out there will hear it. Maybe you'll dream of a blue sky tonight. Maybe you'll smell rain on soil that shouldn't exist. Maybe you'll remember. Because Earth isn't dead. It's just waiting for someone to believe in it loud enough to bring it back. I made it 6 jumps before they caught up. 6 blind jumps into deep space using old worm routes I swore I'd never fly again. That many hops through unbuffered worm space burns your mind. The dreams came faster. Louder, I started hearing music, strings, voices without translation nodes. And that smell, rain on asphalt. I didn't know the word for it until the memory dropped in mid-breath. Petrichor. Earth had words for everything. They didn't send a fleet. They sent one ship, silent, angular, no designation, no light. It didn't fire, it cut. One slice through the space behind me, and suddenly, my gravity anchor reversed. I was falling sideways through my own ship. Then, blackout. I woke up in white walls. White silence, a single chair, no shadows. A figure stood in front of me. No eyes, just a veil of null fabric and a voice that sounded like absence. You accessed the Gaia shard. I didn't answer. The seed carries stories, dangerous ones. You're not the first to remember. That stopped me. How many others? I asked. A pause. Fewer every century. The veil shifted. Not removed, just folded slightly, like parting a curtain on a window that wasn't there. And I saw it. Not their face, but a memory inside them. A great city burning. Not from war, from erasure. People running with paper in their hands, books, real ones. And behind them, archivists, not soldiers. Cleaners. Burning names, erasing symbols. Collapsing structures that held meaning. Not to destroy history, to reshape it. Earth was too dangerous, the archivist whispered. Not because of its weapons, because it remembered everything. They didn't kill me. That was the strange part. Instead, they dropped me on an asteroid base near the outer drift. No ID, no explanation. Just a single encoded data crystal tucked in my pocket. I decoded it in my ship's core. It was a voice log. Halric Ven, you're not alone. I remembered too. Meet me at Bastion Echo, 918 Theta Belt. Follow the song. The stars hum when Earth gets close. A woman's voice. Calm, steady, with an accent I couldn't place, because it didn't belong to any sector I knew. As I flew toward Bastion Echo, I finally heard it clearly. Not through the ship, through me. A lullaby. In a language long dead, gentle, sad, but strong. And with it came more memories, not mine. Wars, civilizations, families, towers. And then, a launch. Earth shattering in its atmosphere, not from destruction, but departure. 1,000,000 seeds launched into space, each carrying a fragment of her soul. Gaia shards. Memory machines wrapped in living code. Scattered into oblivion, waiting to be found. It wasn't a station. It was a graveyard. An ancient wreck field. Thousands of derelict ships drifting in permanent orbit around a dead neutron star. And at its center, nestled in the bones of a broken cruiser, a signal. Encrypted with Terran Code Alpha. I docked. My hands were shaking. Not from fear. From the overwhelming certainty that I was about to speak to someone who had touched Earth. She wore no veil. She wore dirt on her skin, real, rubbed into her fingers like war paint. Her eyes glowed faint green from the shard embedded behind her iris. "You're late," she said. But then again, Earth was always patient. We didn't speak for a long time. We remembered together. She showed me a map. Not star charts. Memory coordinates. Every shard linked through a neural thread. Every time someone touched one, it woke up and sent out a whisper. "We are Terra," she said. "We are the fire. And we are lighting it again." There were hundreds of us now, scattered, hunted, and the archivists were losing control. "They'll call us heretics," she said. "Virus carriers, memory sick." I nodded. Then let's infect them with the truth. Because Earth didn't die. It planted itself in the dark and waited. And now, we remember. It started on a mining colony in Belt 42H, Concord controlled. One of ours, a shard-bearer named Kellen Juneau, broadcast a 6-minute pulse of reconstructed Earth history before he was caught, a child's voice reciting a poem. An image of a tree, oak, according to the eye filters. A sound clip, thunder rolling over an open plain. That was all it took. The Archivists descended within 3 hours. Kellen was erased, not executed, erased. His name scrubbed from colony logs, his DNA marked as synthetic error. His family reassigned, no mourning, no questions. But the pulse was already copied, already echoing. They had no idea how fast Earth could travel. Lisa called it the Remembrance Protocol. Shard-bearers across 5 systems, people who remembered grass, oceans, laughter, began leaking fragments. Not big truths. Just sensations, a recipe, a melody, a photograph of snow. Nothing dangerous, just human. But in a galaxy allergic to the past, it was plague. Concord ThoughtNet began seeing spikes in untraceable dream logs. The sky was blue. I felt rain on my skin. My daughter said a word I don't know, home. The Concord called it contagion echo disorder. The streets called it the Earth sickness. They struck Lisa's base first. Bastion Echo wasn't a fortress. It was a memory, and they shattered it with antimatter torpedoes. I felt it in my shard. Every bearer did. A wave of silence that slammed into the neural weave like a scream cut short. Lisa didn't die immediately. She sent out one last ping. Don't bury me. Burn me. Let them see the flame. I met him in orbit over Deadreach. He wasn't veiled like the others. He wore a clean black uniform, silver trim, emblems of Concord purity. But his voice cracked. Halric Venn, you are transmitting a virus, a memory. Earth is a false construct. A dangerous one. Then why are you afraid of it? He stared at me. His left eye flickered, a shard reaction. He had one too. I remember trees, he whispered. Then you know why this matters. He raised his hand, not to kill, to salute. Then he let me go. We were winning. We stopped hiding. Shard bearers began gathering openly. We met in husks of forgotten ships, on asteroid farms. In echo caverns of broken moons, we sang Earth songs into the dark. We carved names into hulls. Athens, Nairobi, Boston, Sao Paulo, Cape Town, Cairo. People began asking, what are these words? And then came the children. The first generation born to shard bearers. They didn't just remember Earth, they dreamed in Terran. That's when the Concord panicked. They launched the protocols of silence. Hundreds of shard bearers disappeared overnight. Our networks were shattered. I barely made it off Vox Prime. Lisa's backup, a girl named Nera, 16 years old, got me out. She spoke like Earth was still alive. They can erase records, she said, but not songs. Not stories, not us. We are Earth's echo, and echo is louder in silence. We made the decision together, no more fragments. We would show the galaxy everything. I uploaded the Gaia Shard's full payload to the Deep Frame, the Forbiddance Network, the one that predates the Concord itself. Within hours, it reached every major station. The sky over Earth, a mother giving birth, a funeral in rain, a war, a peace treaty, a child's laugh, the first steps on the moon, all of it, and for the first time in centuries. The stars remembered. They sent black ships after us. But the damage was done. Earth was no longer a lie. It was a memory the galaxy couldn't delete fast enough. People began whispering their own pasts. Aliens who had allied with the Concord began questioning their own histories, asking, what else was erased? The Archivists couldn't keep up. Even their own began defecting. And in every quiet place across the stars, someone whispered one name. Earth. The dreams changed after the broadcast. They didn't feel like memories anymore. They felt like instructions, blueprints, Maps, algorithms, all wrapped in sensations and sounds. I'd blink and see the outline of a seed vault etched into the curves of Saturn's rings. I'd breathe in and suddenly know the precise mineral recipe to recreate Terran soil. And I wasn't the only one. Thousands of shard-bearers began experiencing the same. The Gaia shards were activating, not just awakening memory, but unlocking knowledge buried deeper than time. Earth hadn't just planted stories, it had planted tools. Nira was the first to say it aloud. They weren't just recording history. The shards are terraformers. Hidden in the dreams was code, not just information, but living design, quantum engineered to rebuild ecosystems. Each Gaia shard carried more than emotion. It carried seeds, digital, biological, conceptual. The means to restore Earth, or create something new. We were never meant to go back, she said. We were meant to make it again. We stopped thinking like scavengers. Started building like gardeners. Using derelict ships, repurposed asteroid cores, and even decaying station hulls, we began crafting small habitats, Eden nodes. The first one bloomed inside an abandoned trade carrier, the Mercurian. Within weeks, oxygen levels self-stabilized. Gravity beds grew moss. Insects emerged from protein packs. A tree, a real one, unfolded from a gene seed hidden in a shard's code. The moment the first flower bloomed, Nira wept. "It's real," she said. "It's all real." They didn't just come with weapons this time. They came with words. Broadcasts across all systems. The Terra cult is destabilizing reality. Humanity is not native to the galaxy. The Gaia shards are false gods, biological malware. Memory is not truth. Some of us started to doubt, until the alien came. Avari was Vocari, a species that communicates through resonance and symphonic tone. She found us during the third bloom phase of Node 6. She carried no shard, but she remembered her. Not through dreams, through song. "My people do not use words," she said. "But we remember the melody your kind left behind. In the void between stars, we always heard it." Avari translated the Terran memory frequency into her own language. It became a waveform, and when we played it through the shard interface, something new happened. The Gaia shard sang back. Not just memory, awakening. "This is not a virus," Avari said. "It is legacy encoded in resonance." Earth did not just plant seeds. It planted music into the structure of space. Our kind hadn't just traveled the stars. We had written ourselves into them. Using the shard resonance, we located an old terraforming husk, once a failed colony called Numa 3. It was dry, cracked, lifeless. We landed anyway. We activated 8 Gaia shards at once. The sky went black. Lightning crawled across dead clouds. Rain fell, thick, heavy, metallic at first. Then clear. Within 48 hours, the atmosphere recalibrated. Within a week, green, real green. Earth wasn't dead. It was rebuilding itself through us. They sent a message, not encrypted, not veiled. Just 3 lines. "We cannot stop it now. But you do not understand what you are waking." Earth was buried for a reason. The first spatial distortion occurred at the heart of the largest Eden node. A slow ripple in space, no gravity, no mass, just a shimmer. We thought it was a wormhole, but it was a memory fold. Time condensed. Streams of human history bled into the present. Old Earth voices, laughter, radio transmissions, ancient music began to bleed into reality. "Earth is trying to return," Nira said, terrified. "Not metaphorically, literally, through us." The rift expanded faster than we understood. At first, it was barely a ripple, a haze in the Eden node sky, like heat off desert stone. But by the second week, it had formed a ring. Geometric. Vibrating with harmonic frequencies we'd only ever heard in dreams. The eye couldn't map it. The Concord couldn't classify it. But the shards knew. They began glowing in unison, a low pulse, like a heartbeat, like they were waiting for something. This is the Echo Gate, Avari said. Earth isn't just remembering, it's reaching. Shard bearers across 12 systems began collapsing. Not dying, synchronizing. Eyes open, bodies frozen. They spoke in tongues, voices layered on top of each other, not just human voices. Others. Volcari, Tyneal, Arakith, species long gone. The Echo Gate wasn't a message, it was a bridge. And every Gaia shard was a piece of the key. They contacted me directly. Not with veils, not with threats. This time, a man's face. Old, tired, eyes hollow. He said his name was Cassian Vel. You think you're waking Earth. You're not. You're unsealing the memory of everything Earth touched. Do you understand? The wars, the rage, the hunger. The broken gods we made out of ourselves. The plagues we named progress. Earth is not a myth. It is a wound stitched into space-time. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Because even if he was right, we are that wound. And we deserve to remember why it bled. Mira stood closest to the Echo Gate when it spoke. It didn't use sound, it used memory. 1,000,000 voices, 1,000,000,000 scenes. All projected into one image. A young girl standing on a beach. Water lapping her feet. Stars above and a single word carved in the sand, home. Then the Echo Gate flashed and the storm began. Time cracked. Literally. Planets began reporting anomalies, not physical damage, but temporal bleed. People saw themselves twice. Ships arrived before they left. Dead languages poured from newborns' mouths. The Gaia shards began fusing into one another, forming a core, a singularity of memory. And at the center of it all, the Echo Gate stabilized. A door, not symbolic, not metaphysical. A literal passage. Nira and I stood at the gate. Thousands had gathered, not just humans. Avari's kind, others, species we thought lost to the silence. The Archivists watched, from orbit, from shadows. They didn't move. They knew they'd lost. But the choice was ours. Go through the gate and risk the return of a world too powerful, too painful, too real, or let Earth remain a myth. A ghost, a dream we could never wake from again. The gate didn't open. It welcomed. I felt my lungs breathe real air. My skin tingled, not from radiation, but sunlight. Gravity kissed my feet like a memory too sweet to be trusted. And then I saw it. Earth. Not the old one, not the broken one. A new world, green, wild, unshaped. Waiting, not for conquest, for caretakers. The Gaia shards dissolved, not as loss, as fulfillment. Their purpose was never to bring us back to Earth. It was to make Earth choose us again, and it had. Not just humanity, every memory-bearing species. Every being who dared to carry truth through darkness. I recorded this on the new Earth's first dawn. The sky was violet, the grass was gold. And my daughter was laughing beside a lake we didn't name, because it didn't need one. They buried Earth in silence. But silence is not the end. It's the breath before the story begins again. I remember now. We all do. Earth never left us. We just stopped listening. But now we remember. Thank you for listening to The Man Who Remembered Earth, an original HFY epic. If this story moved you, subscribe to the channel, share it with a starmate, and let us know what you remember. Until next time, keep your fire, keep your name, and never stop looking for home.